Welcome to Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver with Amy Decker and Shayne Silver. Join us on each show where you're going to enjoy a lively conversation that's going to connect you to the tools and resources that you'll need to coordinate care for the seniors in your life. We are so happy that you joined us. Hi, welcome to our show. We are so glad that you joined us for our maiden voyage of Senior Strategies.
Welcome. We're so glad you could be with us tonight.
And so we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves. My name is Amy Decker. I am the Director of Client Services with a home health agency in Boynton Beach. It's called Senior Helpers. And so what's so nice about that is I've had so many opportunities to get very close with families and their caregivers. Between elder law that I worked for many years and then working for the home health agency, I got to see the pros and cons and the weaknesses and the strengths between family dynamics, caregivers, and their loved ones. One of the nice things being in this industry is I met Shayne at a group called Partnership for Aging,
which is an amazing organization that does education, outreach, philanthropy, and advocacy for our seniors here in Palm Beach County.
And it just puts us in touch with so many tools and strategies within our county to help others. But Partnership for Aging is a great asset. I'm also on the board of another group called Senior Healthcare Coordinators, and a similar situation where you get professionals together and you get, because you're together all the time, you get very personable with them. And those are the people you refer business and you work with people that you care for and enjoy being around.
So we've created our toolbox to help our clients and our caregivers, and we're here to share those with you so that you don't have to start from scratch.
Right. And so that's the biggest thing, is just making sure that you get the tools that you need to empower you to be a better caregiver that's better for yourself, a better loved one. Your loved ones are going to be happier. You're going to feel better too. And some of the things that I've learned along the way, I'm also a volunteer for Vitas Hospice. And I've done that for many years now. So from the beginning of caring for somebody, I can carry them all the way to the end. I get to see again that journey of what they go through and the things that they really need at that time.
And our show, we hope to bring you those resources you didn't know existed. We know that being a caregiver could be very lonely, very overwhelming. We want you to know you're not alone, that there are resources out there for you, and you don't have to recreate the wheel.
Right. And so that's going to be the highlight then. Every one of our shows will have a theme. So follow us on our Facebook page, Senior Strategies. Follow us on our Instagram. We've also got a YouTube that you can follow us on as well. And each show will have its own theme that we can talk about things that that will be helpful to you as the caregiver.
I am her counterpart in this new adventure. My name is Shayne Silver. I am a NAR designated seniors real estate specialist with the Silver team at Keller Williams here in Palm Beach County. And what that means is that I spend most of my time, most of my clients are in the 55 plus arena. So I spend a lot of time either relocating individuals into a 55 plus community or relocating them out when it is time for the next phase in their journey, which quite often could be an independent or assisted living community. As Amy said, we met in Partnership for Aging, and through that organization, I met many people who helped me through my personal journey, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this show for me is a way of giving back. Through the Partnership for Aging, I've met many individuals who helped me make the journey easier. And I want to give back to my community so that those caregivers out there don't have to feel like they're alone, but I also want to give back to those people who helped me, and those will be a lot of our guests over the next few weeks, right. So you'll get to meet them as well. I am actually a caregiver. I care for my 77-year-old mother who is thriving with Alzheimer's, and my 80-year-old father who is not so thriving with just some age-related ailments. So I am walking in your shoes. I know firsthand how challenging it could be. And again, I just want to be able to give back so that you don't have to start from scratch and you don't have to make the mistakes I made.
And it's true. I think so much of what we do is a pay it forward And there's days you get up and you're tired and, you know, it might be raining or you didn't get a good night's sleep. But I think the industry that we're in and the professions that we have, making a difference in somebody's life that day, making a difference in a senior's life. I bring babies into assisted living communities, into memory care, just to watch them come to life. So people that aren't verbal will start singing to the babies. Those that are crabby and in a bad mood, it puts them in a better mood. And then it puts us in a better mood. So we know that caring for our seniors and helping you as a caregiver, it's empowering to us as well. And so that's one of the things that we want to hear more from you. What are things you would like on our show? What are things that you can talk about or that you might be able to help us to present? So if you follow our pages, maybe you've got even a special skill that you'd like to share that we could have you on as a guest.
And if there are certain challenges that we haven't hit upon or certain challenges you're having in your caregiving journey, please reach out, let us know. We'd like to help you solve that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it's all about. It's just team effort here. Again, we're here to empower you. And while we're empowering you, maybe somebody else. And so we're hoping that we'll make a difference. Again, like Shayne had mentioned, being a caregiver can be very frustrating. It can be depressing. So we want to bring a little levity. So like we have our little wine here to bring a little levity. We want to make you laugh. At times you might want to cry, but that's okay too. We just want to do something to make a difference in your life, to empower you on this journey.
Quite often you'll hear our caregivers say, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. Well, we want you to come here and laugh with us. Mm-hmm. We want you to know that it's okay to cry and to laugh. You know, we know that it's hard and it's frustrating sometimes, but there are resources out there that can help. You don't have to be on that island all by yourself. So that's who we're bringing for you today.
Yep. And so that's one of the benefits of being a partnership for aging or senior healthcare coordinators. We have elder law attorneys. We have guardianship. We have company that we're going to have today. Kulics can help. You're going to find out tools, what Kulics can help can bring you. Calling into 211, what will that do? We're going to talk about that today.
Home healthcare agencies that will help your loved one better age in place if that's what they decide to do. People that will help you navigate Medicare and Medicaid and VA benefits. Mm-hmm. All the things that you never knew you needed to know. And trust me, when I started, I knew nothing about any of this. And I had to find the right people and the resources to help me through and to educate me. And I was not in this arena before, but over the last 8 years, I've learned a lot, and I hope to share that. And I hope that we can make your life a little easier.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to go down this road together. We're probably going to be learning more things from the guests that come on. We know nutrition is a big thing. So we even have a company called Chef for Seniors that will be on with a nutritionist, and they'll be able to talk about how nutrition is so important, especially with those with dementia, that it's very hard to get them to even eat.
And we'll be talking with a licensed social worker who is a caregiver specialist, and she'll be talking a little bit about caregiving burnout and when it's time to have those difficult conversations, when and how you approach those with your loved ones. So we'll be running the gamut, a little bit of everything, and we hope that you will join us on this journey. We hope you laugh. You might cry a little bit. We hope you laugh, but we most importantly hope you learn something, and we hope you realize that you're not alone.
And so you can email us at seniorstrategies.pb@gmail.com. You can also call at 561-800-6654. Any questions, any concerns, anything you want to share with us, be sure to do that because we're here for you.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about resources you didn't know existed right here in Palm Beach County. And for those of you who may be listening who aren't here in Palm Beach County, you might be able to find resources just like these in wherever your location is. Mm-hmm.
And so we have Patrice Schroeder from 211, and we also have Amanda Kulics from Clinics Can Help. From Clinics Can Help, and they're both going to be a great resource, and we're so excited to have them as guests.
So we hope that you enjoy the next hour, 45 minutes, however long we're here. We hope you enjoy that with us. We hope you get something out of it. And this is our first episode. This is our maiden voyage. So
give us some space.
Be kind.
Be kind. Right. And we'll be airing every other Tuesday live at 5. So our next show will be the 16th. And again, all of our information will be on our
YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. You can find us pretty much everywhere. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions regarding anything you hear on the episode, or again, if you're facing a challenge that you'd like us to discuss or talk about, please don't hesitate to reach out. That's why we're doing this.
And we'll be talking about events even that are going on in the community. So there's going to be a few events that we'll talk about afterwards that if you would like to attend, we certainly would love to have you there. We have a support group that meets once a month. So if that's something that you would like to join us locally, in person, live and in person, there's a great support group that we have as well. So we'll give you a little bit more information about that too. And we'd love for you to be there as well.
So I think our ladies are getting ready shortly. They'll be with us after the commercial break.
Yep.
But once again, thank you for taking this journey with me, Amy.
Yes, and thank you, Shayne, for joining me too. So we'll join you after our commercial break, and we will have Amanda and Patrice on the show. We hope that you come back and join us quickly. Hi, I'm Amy Decker with Senior Helpers.
And I'm Shayne Silver, a seniors real estate specialist with the Silver team at Keller Williams.
We are so excited about a new show that we're launching, Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
We know that being a caregiver can be lonely and very overwhelming, and we want to help.
And so we hope to empower you with resources and tools that you probably didn't even know existed.
We'll be having some great conversations with people and companies you probably never knew existed and never knew you needed.
We just can't wait for you to join us.
Come join us for some laughs and fun as we give you some tools to use.
See you soon.
In support of all the work that Amy Decker and Shayne Silver do for our senior community, Prepare to Care Emergency Companions is honored to sponsor this segment of Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
Welcome back to Senior Strategies with Amy and Shayne. Coming up next are more tools and resources you will need to make your journey of caregiving a little easier. For more information or to be a guest on the show, please contact us at 561-800-6654. And now, on with the show.
Hi, welcome back to our show. We have some great guests that you're going to be learning a lot from today. One of them is Amanda Kulics. She is the General Outreach Manager for Clinics Can Help. I think this is a great tool. I'm excited for you to tell them about what you're going to be helping in the community with.
And we also have with us today Patrice Schroeder from 211, and I'm excited for her to tell us all about all the different programs you have available to you.
So Amanda, let's start with you. Tell us, how did you get this together? Where did Clinics Can Help come from?
Well, it's one of my favorite stories about Clinics Can Help, and it starts with a nurse named Owen O'Neill, who was basically just out in the community in Palm Beach County, and he made some basic observations that I think a lot of people who are doing that work in the field see. He was in a hospital setting, and he was seeing patients come back into the hospital continually, and he got curious, and he asked the caseworkers, why are these individuals coming back? I thought their issues were treatable. And the feedback was, well, they don't have the means to pay for medical equipment. And so that was the first observation he made. And the second observation he made was that he was a hospice nurse, and at the end of life, part of the supportive care that hospice provides is helping individuals post-care, their caregivers grieve and settle situations. So the very first thing that these families were saying is, can you please remove this medical equipment from the home? This didn't represent my mom's life.
Yeah.
This just represented her death.
Right.
That's hard.
And so Owen, who is very compassionate, if you ever meet him, he's just a sweetheart. What he said was, I'm so sorry, hospice won't let me take it back. But after a while, what he found was they were putting it on the side of the road anyway, so he started saving the equipment, putting it in his garage, putting it in a spare bedroom, and then he started calling free and charitable clinics and saying, hey, I know you probably have people who need this. And they were saying, oh, we don't have a place to store it. He's like, that's fine. I'll just bring it to you on Saturdays. And so that's how we became Clinics Can Help.
Wow.
Yeah, we
Very
just started.
compassionate.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he saw the need and he filled it. And
That's-
that's how so many amazing businesses start.
That's actually one of my favorite things about Clinics Can Help is you have a great idea, but how often do you not do anything about it? Owen saw the idea and he didn't just sit there and go, that's a good idea, somebody else should do it. He said, what would happen if I did it right now? And didn't apologize for it and just did it. And 10 years later, someone said, you should become a 501c3. And he goes, what's that? He's like, what do you have to be to be a nonprofit? And they're like, you're already a nonprofit. You just don't have the name.
Wow.
So we've been a 501c3 for 10 years now in Palm Beach County.
That's something. And was he by himself when he started this?
Absolutely.
And how long was he all alone?
10 years. Just doing it. And word
So
of
his
mouth.
garage and house were full of DME.
And that's how he spent his free time on
Wow.
Yes, he said he
and
would-
refurbishing it probably too. Things that were broken, he fixed them up. And
He learned how to fix things and
So then tell me from that point, then what's your mission from that point? After 10 years, he realized that this was a success and he
Yeah.
could help so many people out. What was the next step?
So, Clinics Can Help became a 501c3 in 2010, and our mission has been focused on providing medical equipment and supplies to children and adults in need in Palm Beach County and beyond. So, if you're listening right now from the Treasure Coast and your loved one needs equipment, you can come to us and we will provide the equipment to you.
And what's the number they can call?
You can call 561-640-2995 anytime between 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and someone will pick up. You can also submit a request for assistance on our website at www.clinicscanhelp.org.
And what are some things that you find are still in demand that you have a hard time keeping stocked?
So, just to quickly describe our
Sure.
stock, so that the viewers and the listeners have an idea, we'll carry items as large as a hospital bed, a Hoyer lift, or as small as a package of incontinence supplies or wound carry. So we have a whole warehouse full of items. The items that people come to get the most of are wheelchairs, and those items actually we just have a difficulty keeping in stock in general.
Wow.
Wheelchairs, transport or standard. We also get a lot of requests for rolling seated walkers, standing walkers, Hoyer lifts, electric especially is a need, electric Hoyer
Shower
lifts.
chairs probably
Yep,
too,
we have
huh?
a ton of requests for shower chairs, especially shower chairs that slide, shower chairs that that have handles on the side, raised toilet seats. There's just a whole bunch. And then, of course, incontinence supplies is a huge need that provides dignity for people.
I have to say, I went to visit Amanda a couple months ago, and I actually got a tour of the facility and their warehouse where they store everything, and it was just absolutely amazing what they have in there. Anything you could possibly think of or possibly need. The wheelchairs, I know they come and go, and the walkers come and go. At the time I was there, they were piled high. I'm sure the next week they were empty. And they have a gentleman on site who actually repairs things too. So it's okay if it's not 100%.
Because they refurbish
they
it.
can refurbish it and make it usable for somebody else.
Yeah, our requests are usually gently used items if at all possible. However, we do have somebody on staff who can adjust and do minor repairs on items. If it needs a major repair, we might not be able to do it. But go ahead and donate the item and we can make the judgment call for you at that time. The other thing that I want to just say is that we have a OT for seniors who was previously on our board, and she always called us Toys R Us for physical therapy and
That's
occupational
cute.
therapists.
That's
so
cute.
we always encourage people who are serving individuals who are maybe you're out there and you're listening and you see someone with a need and you're in their homes and you're seeing an item that's not there that should be there to keep them safe. We want to encourage you to come to us and to get access to those items through us. It's very accessible.
And then do you encourage them to come to you, to the warehouse, to look and see what they need? Or do they call in advance before they come? How does that work, and where are you located?
So it's always wise to call ahead because 90% of what comes to us are items that are donated. So at any given time, we could have the item you need, or we might have a deficit and not have the item you need in stock. You can call the number I said earlier. I'll say it again, 561-640-2995. Ask and see if we have the item in stock, and we can put it on hold for you for 48 hours. And we always try to encourage you to be really specific and know exactly the specific type of item you need. So if it's a walker, do you need a seated walker? Do you need one on wheels? Do you need an upright rocker? If you're someone who needs a wheelchair, do you need a transport wheelchair? Do you need someone to push you in that wheelchair? Do you need something lightweight? Are you looking for something narrower? Just keep an idea. There are also sizes to wheelchairs that people don't always understand.
I never knew that either. Yeah. And
So
I remember when I
learn
called
something
you
new
once,
every
you
day.
said what size did they need. I thought, I have no idea. But you're right. Everybody comes in a different size, different package.
Yeah. An important thing to know, too, about Clinics Can Help is that about 60 to 70% of the individuals who come to us are under the federal poverty line. But we have no income and asset test. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that there are individuals in our community right now. There's a population, I know Patrice knows this population as ALICE, Asset Limited Income Restricted Employed, right? Do I have it right?
Close enough.
It's basically a group of people in Palm Beach County who they have income, but they don't have income that matches Palm Beach County's cost of living, which has gone up significantly. So those individuals are essentially often living paycheck to paycheck. And so when a medical crisis arises, we all understand in this room, and I'm sure your viewers and listeners do as well, the rising cost of healthcare. So they're just one step away from poverty. And according to the statistics in Palm Beach County, that's roughly 46%
Wow.
of our population in Palm Beach County. So your listeners statistically know people in their immediate community, their friends, their clients, their colleagues who are one step away from that type of struggle. We're here to try to meet that gap through the services we implement. It's all focused on medical equipment, but
And if you price out medical equipment, so I know very often the same thing. So we have clients that need specific things, and I'll think, oh, let's just go on Amazon. Let's see what Amazon has. And you look, and a lot of the things are thousands of dollars. I mean, a swivel shower chair, you wouldn't think would be that expensive. Hundreds of dollars for
Yes.
that. A Hoyer lift.
And Medicare, if you have Medicare and you're listening or your loved one does, you should know, for instance, Medicare pays for a wheelchair every 5 years. And it only pays for a certain type, a walker every 5 years. It only pays for a certain type. So if you have a prescription for one item and then maybe you have Parkinson's and your condition deteriorates, we hope it doesn't, but if it does, Medicare's not going to pay for it for another 5 years. And they never pay for an item like a transport wheelchair. Medicare doesn't cover that. So you have to consider that Medicare won't pay for everything, and think about that in the back of your mind. And if you have the ability to pay for those items outright, that's awesome. But I know most of us, when we need one item, we need 5 items.
Right.
And then you have to afford the cost of all 5 items.
And that's what I was going to say. I'm sure a lot of people that come to you, they're not just looking for a wheelchair. They may need a hospital bed, a wheelchair, a walker, a toilet riser. It's often probably multiple items. And like you said, they may be able to afford one, but a lot of those people can't afford them all.
And the wear and tear on those things. So anything, a walker, a wheelchair, those things can go awry at any given time. I mean,
Yes.
any of those things that they use, they're putting full body weight on, whether it's a shower chair, a toilet. So in between, if they have to have repairs on those things, you know.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I have noticed that a lot of people receive equipment maybe leaving a hospital, but it's not equipment that they know how to utilize safely. No one's taught them how to utilize it, store it correctly, and so they end up breaking the items before they've even gotten, you know, a week or two's worth of wear out of it. So we always encourage you to speak with a physical therapist, at least get a PT eval, because during that process, usually what happens is that the PT makes sure that you're utilizing your equipment safely and correctly, which is a huge part of making sure you stay safe at home and a caregiver doesn't injure themselves as they're trying to help the loved one utilize the equipment.
And you're absolutely right. I have to say, one of the things that we do with senior helpers is we send our nurse out periodically to do assessments. And you find that a lot of them will have the three-wheelie.
The Winnie walkers?
They don't want to pop it all the way out. So they just do it a little bit in, but now it's not locking correctly. So there's a fall hazard.
That's a hazard.
It's a hazard. And so a lot of the things, or do you have throw rugs in the house? Do you have things, there's a lot of clutter in your house. So that's one of the things that we do as an assessment. If you're using walker, wheelchair, cane, any of those things, what's going on in your house that could cause a problem while you're, and like you say, if they get a prescription and they bring a wheelchair home, they don't know, or a walker. They're
And
not
then
given that information.
Equipment like, for instance, a Hoyer lift. A Hoyer lift is a tool that helps you safely move an individual from one area to another, say from a bed to their wheelchair. Now, if you're a caregiver, that is saving your body's wear and tear, the physical struggle of lifting that individual. And it's very difficult to get insurance to pay for it.
Cover that.
And I know that I'm a caregiver in my own personal life, and during the end of the life of my father-in-law, who is 90 at the time, he needed a tool like that. He was a 2-person assist at that point. And his wife, who is like 120 pounds soaking wet and 89, could not do that because just having a Hoyer lift on site sometimes can just mean that it's an opportunity for that person to stay at home instead of going into an assisted living
And a Hoyer
setting.
lift is a big deal. That is a big deal. You really have to learn how to use a Hoyer lift.
Absolutely. And we do not recommend you just come and pick those up.
No,
we recommend that
you
you
learn.
make sure
It could
that
be very dangerous if you're not doing it right.
or an OT tells you that this is something you can safely use and the type. So some people, like my mother-in-law, could only probably utilize a fully electric and under certain circumstances and with specific transferring opportunities, but not all.
For the caregiver, it could be a back saver and a lifesaver, but again, you have to know how to use it appropriately and correctly.
And we find that caregivers, because like your mother-in-law, it's so difficult for them because she's tiny and she's aged as well, that if we don't give them the resources like a Hoyer lift, they end up crashing and burning, and they have a bigger situation happening, even a worse situation than the one that they're caring for. And so that's what we love about what you do, because you can be such an assistance then to so many.
Well, we certainly try. And so if you have anybody who needs equipment, just know we try to make it as simple as possible. We have a 1-page application. It's not an approval or denial system. We have no income and asset test. We don't ask about your citizenship or whether or not you have insurance. Well, we ask the question, do you have insurance? But we don't need a group insurance number. We don't bill insurance. Our goal is to make sure that if you need the equipment, we have it. It's yours. So please reach out. We do operate with a suggested donation per item. We always encourage people to donate if they can, only because it helps the next person. And so that will come up in your conversations when you're talking with us. But know that if that's a deterrent for you to get access to this equipment and you really need it, we're going to help you by maybe eliminating the copay or not a copay, the donation amount, or maybe we'll say, well, what works for you? What helps you overcome the boundary? That's the focus, is overcoming the boundary.
On the other side of that, let's talk about people who want to donate, right? And we heard a little bit about everything you have, and I know a lot of the times, me as a realtor, when I'm working with a family, a lot of times I work with adult children. Person has passed, now the home belongs to the adult children, and we're working to clean it out before we can get it sold. We will bring it right to you. So tell us a little bit about how someone can donate equipment and what else can they donate?
Right, because like we talked about, like maybe the person that passed was diabetic, so maybe there's give us some other things that they can donate.
So items that you might be seeing are packaged incontinence supplies. If the package isn't open, we take it. Individuals might have unopened diabetic testing supplies or unopened and unused compression stockings, wheelchairs, walkers, canes, crutches, wheelchair cushions, wound care and incontinence supplies of all types. We do
It's
take
not been opened.
that's
obviously.
not
Yeah.
yes single-use items that have been unopened, like ostomy supplies. All of those items we go ahead and will take. And we take nutrition supplies. So if you know a person who maybe needs nutrition supplies, you can come to us. But if you also have nutrition supplies like Ensure, Jevity is a big ask. We're very happy to take those items. And in fact, if we also even take tube feeding supplies like nutrition supplements for individuals in a tube, utilizing a tube. So just keep that in mind. You can bring really specific items to us, and we work really hard to try to find those items a home.
And so tell us now more about Owen. So he was by himself, did that for 10 years. Tell us staff and everything else. Where are you today?
So Owen is now our CEO, our director of Clinics Can Help. We have a staff of about 12 individuals. And we are, definitely working that staff. I always say nonprofit work is the harvest is many, but the workers are few.
and how many vehicles do you have for pickup? And how often is the pickup? Like, what would be something that you could even be looking for right now to tell our viewers, hey, we could really use a...
So right now we could really use wheelchairs, any size, any type, transport. Or we also have a lot of asks for electric scooters, electric Hoyer lifts, fully electric hospital beds are always a ask. We are very happy to accept any type of item that you're donating. You asked about transportation, like bringing items. So what's your pickup schedule if somebody were to call and say? Right. So if someone has a heavy weight equipment item that they would like to donate, we'll come and pick it up for free. Items that you can fold and put into a sedan. Wheelchairs, walkers, canes, we unfortunately can't come and pick up because we have just one truck and two guys. And they work all week to try to bring in and deliver items. And we actually prioritize delivery of items only because a lot of people are waiting in critical care at home without safe access to tools. We do deliver items, but another element you should be aware of is that we, again, are only delivering heavyweight items. And we do, in order to keep that operational, because those trucks are very expensive and they guzzle gas, we do charge, unfortunately, a fee for that. And so one day we hope to not have that burden, and we'd like to take that off the backs of individuals, if at all possible. But at the moment, we're asking individuals to pay a delivery fee when they utilize that. So
sure,
we'll help you problem solve. We'll say, hey, you have a friend who has a truck. We'll talk you through building it yourself. But that's the option we have. That's great, because I know very often, like Shayne said too, we will care for clients right to the end, and then once they go into, and then all of a sudden they're passing, and now they have all this equipment, and I want it out by Saturday, and today's Friday, and so they have to kind of put realistically.
That's when it sits in my trunk for a
Or our
week
garages.
before I can get over,
Right,
or my garage,
right.
until we can get over.
And that's the real challenge is you should know that it usually takes us about at least when we're operating smoothly a week to get to you if you call. 2 weeks for certain periods of time is the best we can offer you. So you just have to keep that in mind. We try to work with you as much as we can, but I always try to build realistic expectations when people are calling. We're a small nonprofit with a big heart, and we can do a lot of good, but in this area, we have one truck and two guys.
Question. Do you also take monetary donations?
We do, and we are very grateful for your monetary donation if you'd like to do that. So you can go on our website, clinicscanhelp.org/donate. And we're so blessed. We were recently put into People Magazine.
Cool.
Wow.
And we have an article out in People Magazine.
Celebrity in the house.
And why don't you have that with you right now?
Why are we just
because the magazines haven't come yet.
Why are we just hearing
Why
about
is that
this?
coming out?
And We also have an episode in designing spaces.
Wow.
We were able to support one of our local kids through that. So we're out there, people are excited about
That's
us. So
awesome.
if you're listening and you maybe read our People magazine article and you maybe heard about the Designing Spaces episode that airs, I think it's May 10th at 7:30 a.m. You can get up and drink your coffee and watch it. You can donate at kulicscanhelp.org and select the donate button.
And you also do several charity events, don't you? Throughout the year, you'll do like certain things, certain events to just raise money for your company.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. If they can follow you,
Yes.
they can find out where these events are.
So if we have any golfers listening or any clay sport enthusiasts, we have a golf tournament in the fall. We also have a luncheon focused on a program that we have called the Cribs Project. It's focused on trying to get cribs for children because we don't just serve seniors. We serve every age and every stage. A crib in a safe place to sleep is a big deal. So we have a luncheon for that. But we also have a clay shoot. It's our first annual clay shoot.
And where is
in
that?
February. It's actually at Quail Creek. In Okeechobee County. So it's a little bit of a jog, but I hear great things about the site. That's why they selected it. It's because it's a super fun and unique site.
I might have
do
to
it.
check that out. I've never done that, and it
I
sounds scary.
so
but-
want to do it. I'm
but
like
that might
really
be really
excited.
fun.
Does sound like fun.
I was telling our team, I was like, can we just go a little early so I can figure out if I know how to shoot things out of the air that are clay?
Love that. Love that. Well, we're excited to come back. We're going to have a commercial break, and then we're going to talk to Patrice Schroeder with 211. So don't leave. Come back. Hi, I'm Amy Decker with Senior Helpers.
And I'm Shayne Silver, a seniors real estate specialist with the Silver team at Keller Williams.
We are so excited about a new show that we're launching, Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
We know that being a caregiver can be lonely and very overwhelming, and we want to help.
And so we hope to empower you with resources and tools that you probably didn't even know existed.
We'll be having some great conversations with people and companies you probably never knew existed and never knew you needed.
We just can't wait for you to join us.
Come join us for some laughs and fun as we give you some tools to use.
See you soon.
In support of all the work that Amy Decker and Shayne Silver do for our senior community, Prepare to Care Emergency Companions is honored to sponsor this segment of Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
Welcome back to Senior Strategies with Amy and Shayne. Coming up next are more tools and resources you will need to make your journey of caregiving a little easier. For more information or to be a guest on the show, please contact us at 561-800-6654. And now, on with the show.
Hi, welcome back to Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
Thank you, Amanda, so much for enlightening us all about Clinics Can Help. But now we're going to turn it over to Patrice with 211, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what 211 is and how you can access it.
Sure. And, 211 is your community helpline and your local crisis line as well. But I want to make sure that you all understand that 211 is a national initiative. So if you have family and friends living in other parts of the country, you can access 211 simply by dialing 211. 211 also has a lot of resources, such as Clinics Can Help. So if somebody is overwhelmed, they're not sure where to turn, we're that starting point. We have about 1,600 agencies with over 3,200 programs and services.
We do get calls from you,
Yes.
actually, just for Senior
Yes.
Helpers Home Health Agency. You refer to us as well.
It is
Yes.
a great starting point if you don't know where to start. You can call in and
Yes.
explain the process if someone were to call in.
So it's very simple, we make it's very user friendly. We do have a prompt when somebody dials 211 out of service area. If somebody's calling from another state, we do have children in other states that want to care for a parent here. They can dial 561-383-1111.
Say that one more time.
561-383-1111 or 1112, either way. But or they can dial their local 211 and they'll give them the out of area number so they can access us. But it's just one convenient one-stop shop to be able to find the different resources and services. Now, just like Clinics Can Help, 211, we answer calls from people of all walks of life and ages. So it's not necessarily senior specific, but we do have some senior programming.
Can you give us an idea of the number of seniors you have calling into 211?
Sure. Now, historically, seniors have been averaging about 30% of our calls. Within our last quarter, I should say our first quarter, January through March, we had about 11,600 calls from people in the community looking for help.
Wow.
Seniors made up about 34% of those, so we're looking at about 4,000 calls, if I did my percentages correct. So 4,000 calls came in from seniors. So there is a lot of need there, but we do have some programs to assist seniors. And one that I'll talk about right now is, since we're talking about caregivers, and you
Yes.
guys have launched this wonderful media platform.
And we get to share it with you for our first show. Yay!
Yay, so I don't want to break the camera, but anyway, caregivers, the CDC did, during this whole COVID thing,
Yes.
the CDC did do a survey in 2020, and they realized that minorities and caregivers that were isolated were being really impacted with their mental health. And so they knew that that was something that was happening. And at 211, we felt that we wanted to prioritize caregivers as well. So we launched our caregiver support project. So caregivers, it has to be a family caregiver that's an adult caregiving for another adult family member. So they can easily access that program just by calling 211. It's that simple. And we also have an elder crisis outreach program. So basically, when somebody calls into 211, we're just going to ask a little bit of information. They don't have to, they can share what they want to share. We try to get some demographic information and their zip code as well, because we want to get resources and services that are close to them, that they can easily access.
So if they call you regarding the caregiver program, what are they asking and what are you doing for them?
Well, if they come in, whichever way they come in, they can be given as a referral to us, or they could be somebody, a caregiver that calls in on 211, and our staff identify that. We have a case manager that is going to help get them engaged with services, connect, listen to them, provide some crisis and emotional support as well.
Oh, that's
so,
great.
Yes.
Is there, do they have to qualify for this? Is there
No, there's
anything-
no qualifying factor other than that they must be an adult caregiver of another adult. And another way that we may get a caregiver into our system for that program, we may have somebody call in that's a vulnerable adult, maybe struggling, and then we learn that they are a caregiver. But we do have an elder crisis outreach program that kind of works hand in hand with our caregiver support project. So vulnerable, isolated adults that need a little more hand-holding and advocacy, elders, seniors, our elder crisis outreach program. But they must be a Palm Beach County resident for that particular program, and they must be over 60. But the caregiver support project, they just have to be over 18 as a caregiver. We have also opened our Sunshine program where we
was
give
just gonna
daily
ask about
calls.
that.
Now, the nice thing now, we're calling about 600 seniors in our 5-county service area. We go all the way up to Indian River and out to Okeechobee County.
I'm going to stop you for one
Yes.
second. You just said you're calling 600 seniors. How often?
Every day. Every day. They get a call every single day.
So how many people do you have doing that?
Well, we have, we depend on volunteers. So if anybody's living in
They can do that from home.
Not just yet.
Okay.
We're working on technology, but they have to be able to make their way to our Lantana Center. So if there's an able senior that's listening to this program that may have some time off being a caregiver and they'd like to call elders that are, would like that daily call. But we're including caregivers.
So who can they do? They'll call 211 and say, I saw the show. I would
Yes.
like to
Volunteer.
volunteer to be a caller.
And then we'll hook them up with the person that's coordinating volunteers. Yes.
And it's really just a check-in call. Just to check
It's
on
a
the senior?
check-in call, but it's not only that, it's also life-saving. Because if we call that senior at their designated time, the program runs from 7:30 in the morning till 5 in the evening. So we say Sarah Beth wants her call at 9 o'clock. We'll call her at 9 o'clock. If we don't hear from her within an increment of a half hour or so, and depending on her vulnerability, we're going to try calling again, but then we're going to start the wheels in motion. We ask that they give us a backup list of people that we can contact first. So it could be a family member,
Or a
it could be a
neighbor.
neighbor, it could be a manager of apartment
To pop in and do,
complex.
like, a wellness
Just
check.
pop in to see, hey, we didn't make contact with the senior. We want to know the status. Do you happen to know? Well, their car is still there. Well, I better go check.
Right.
Or it could be the car's gone. She was talking about she had a beauty appointment, but she forgot to tell us. And, a lot of them will know that they call back and let us know, hey,
But how many of them that we find out they fell, they don't have a life
Exactly.
alert,
Right.
they don't have any, and now they've been laying there through the night and in the middle of the
Yes.
next day because no one knew to check on
And
them. That's what's so great about your
one story.
service.
Yeah, we've heard the horror stories of a caregiver, actually a caregiver that passed away, and the companion was bedridden. There's been some
Oh,
very
my.
sad stories like that in Palm Beach County. So we hope not to have that. But having that extra lifeline. Now this person could have their alert system as well. It doesn't matter. We're just that extra layer. So we will, and it's free. So we call them. We don't hear from them. And nobody else knows of their well-being after checking, then law enforcement will do a welfare check. And we have saved lives. So literally 10 a year, that if one lady in Vero Beach did fall in her bathtub and she did lay there, but she knew that at that time in the morning we were going to call her. And of course that becomes an immediate, medical
Emergency.
situation. We have.
So that was
911.
comfort to her knowing that
Yes, she knew it.
she's
Kept
not
her
going to
to
answer the
night.
phone. You're going to send somebody out to her house.
And actually, there was, and I forgot the university. There was a university that just did a study of a sunshine program in, I think, the West Coast, which similar name, which works for us.
Right.
But of course, they found that the mental health was improved by these seniors just knowing that somebody was looking in and caring about them.
I was going to say that
Yeah.
for some of these seniors
Yes.
that are homebound
Isolated,
and
homebound.
isolated and don't have local
Right.
families or don't get that call every day, at least there's one person reaching out and touching them every day.
And I want to do the reverse too. I encourage any caregiver out in the community, if you are feeling isolated and alone, you can just call us. Just call 211 just to talk. So it doesn't have to be a sunshine call if you don't want. It could be you simply saying,
Right, it
I've
doesn't
had
have to be a problem. I just
Right.
need to
No,
talk to
I
somebody.
just need to talk. I've been kind of in this, my partner's nonverbal. I've been caregiving for them. I just haven't had a chance to even have a conversation with another human. I really would
Yeah,
like
they can't
to.
leave the house. They're
They can't
stuck in
leave
the house.
the house. So,
right. That's beautiful.
yes, it's a wonderful program.
And
Wow.
I think that I have personally seen the other side where people have talked to me about the programs you're talking about, Elder Crisis Outreach and the Shine program or the Sunshine
Program. Yes.
Sunshine program.
Yes, yes.
And the feedback is I don't feel alone. I know
Yes.
that Annette's going to call me at 9 a.m. and they are looking forward to the phone call.
Yes.
Someone's bearing witness to their lives.
Yes.
And sometimes that's the only phone call they get.
Yes.
Or the only person that they know is caring about them.
We have a lot of elders that they don't have family in the area or they've had an outing or an out with their family. And, we do try to see if they can patch it up if it's possible. But for the most part, yes, this is just that really good feel-good program. On top of the crisis work and the helpline work we do, this is our feel-good program. And it's a lovely volunteer opportunity. The volunteers get just as much out of it as the seniors do. So I encourage anyone that is living close to the Lantana area, Delray, Boynton, they're welcome to call to see if they want to volunteer.
And we've talked about that. It's the pay it forward feeling. It's the,
Yes.
I know I talked to Wayne Dreyer. It said this, and I love to talk about it all the
Yeah.
time. If you do a good deed to somebody,
Right.
you've done a good deed to them. It builds up their adrenaline. It builds up their immune system. They
Oh,
benefit.
yes.
You benefit by doing
Yes.
it. You know who else benefits? Those around that watched.
Yes.
So we have a lot more that we're going to talk about, and we are going to get back with you soon. Finish up with 211.
Please join us after the break.
Hi, I'm Amy Decker with Senior Helpers.
And I'm Shayne Silver, a seniors real estate specialist with the Silver team at Keller Williams.
We are so excited about a new show that we're launching, Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
We know that being a caregiver can be lonely and very overwhelming, and we want to help.
And so we hope to empower you with resources and tools that you probably didn't even know existed.
We'll be having some great conversations with people and companies you probably never knew existed and never knew you needed.
We just can't wait for you to join us.
Come join us for some laughs and fun as we give you some tools to use.
See you soon.
In support of all the work that Amy Decker and Shayne Silver do for our senior community, Prepare to Care Emergency Companions is honored to sponsor this segment of Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
Welcome back to Senior Strategies with Amy and Shayne. Coming up next are more tools and resources you will need to make your journey of caregiving a little easier. For more information or to be a guest on the show, please contact us at 561-800-6654. And now, on with the show.
Hi, welcome back to the show. We are so excited that you're here with us today. We've got some great guests. We've had some great conversation, and we're going to get right back into it with Patrice with 211.
Yes.
I have two more questions for you,
Sure.
Patrice. Number one, I know that you have a program for veterans. So I'd like you to tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. This is a state initiative that 211s are handling. We have My Florida Vet, so it's a veterans support line. But the unique thing about My Florida Vet is that it's not only to help that veteran, or it could be a current military person, but it also helps their family. So we want to help engage them with the VA if it's possible in the programs that are there, but also for the family, what existing programs can help them. Because we know that they are looking for food assistance as well and medical help and other things. Clinics can help. So we want to make sure that the family is covered with that. And also that emotional support. And we want to prevent crisis because we know that veterans have a high rate of suicide. So our My Florida Vet program is peer-to-peer, so we have veterans on staff that can actually assist that individual and help them navigate. And sometimes it's a spouse that just lost their husband of 58 years. We had one of those stories where our Florida Vet rep was able to work with that woman to be able to get the benefits that she was entitled to from the VA as
So
well.
you help them navigate to apply for that's a big deal.
Well, yes.
That's huge.
Yes, we help them, and we help them get connected to the other providers as well. So it's just there's no wrong door. We're helping them. We also have 211 not only answers the helpline, but we also answer the 988 crisis line. Veterans are asked to push 1, but sometimes they don't. So it rolls into our system, and we will help them with their crisis as well.
And so they're to dial 988?
988 is the new suicide prevention lifeline number.
Okay.
So they can dial 988, and then they'll be prompted if you're a veteran, press 1.
Okay.
So that's an easy number for anybody, and some of the caregivers may be caregiving for a veteran in the household. So
But even if you're not a veteran and you're feeling,
yes, that's a
988 is a
universal
great-
number, yes. And then if it happens to be a veteran, they'll be prompted to push 1, and that'll take them to a vet center in New York that has more vet emphasis. But our staff are trained to handle any situation, so we're there to help de-escalate.
You guys at 211 are doing amazing things.
Yeah, that's why I'm so
many
tired.
programs. I know. I don't know how you do it all. so many programs.
We have children and family programs, we have all kinds of different things. But, the key here, I just want to let the caregivers know that they're not alone. They can get that sunshine call, or they can call us, and we'll help them to engage with other valuable community resources.
Even if you're not sure exactly what you need, but you
Yes.
know you need something, 211's a great place to start.
Because we listen. We're listening to the story they're telling, and we're trying to do triage to see what is the most critical resource they need prioritized. So it helps them, because sometimes people think, well, I need this. And when we're listening, no, you really need to start here. Right. This is the starting point for you. This will provide you a wealth of help and information.
Well, thank you both for being here today. We really appreciate all you shared. And thank you to all of our listeners out there. We hope you learned something today. We hope we maybe gave you a tool that you can take with you and use.
And right. And so we're happy to have you. And another thing, when we come back, we'd like to talk a little bit more about any events that might be coming up. So if you would like to discuss those events, that would be great too. Any other things that you can do that you would like to talk about that anybody of any age can call, your lines, and can be helped. Sure. And we know being shut up in the home as a caregiver, you're by yourself, you've got your television, and you look out the window. And so truly you feel you're completely by yourself.
Well, cheers, lady. Cheers to all of you. Cheers to our first episode. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us today on Senior Strategies. We hope that you found the tools and the strategies that we offered you beneficial for your journey as a caregiver. We want you to leave today feeling empowered and supported.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for upcoming shows and events. For more information, to schedule a consultation, or to join a support group, please contact us at 561-800-6654.
And remember the strategies
And tools you can use
to make your journey easier.